So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Now listen, before we get into these mysterious and strange discoveries, I gotta ask y'all, man. Like, it is very true, bro. When you walk outside, oh my God, bro. Why is it as soon as you step out the door, you automatically spending money? You ever seen the TikToks where you step out the door and they're like, cha-ching, 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 and they walk right back in the house? It is just too expensive to go outside, man. It's too crazy, bro. You just come on back in the house. Come back in the house and let me take your mind off of it, bro. Let's look at some of these strange and mysterious discoveries that'll make you question everything. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out.
There are endless questions that science still can't explain. We might have discovered a lot of things, and we've come a long way in science and technology, but there might never be a time when humanity knows the answer to everything. There are still a lot of questions that are unanswered. Let's take a look at some of the most intriguing things and phenomena in our world today. From a mysterious brainless goo to moving stones, here are 15 mysterious anomalies that science can't explain. Number 15. Slime mold. In 2019, a zoo in Paris surprised a lot of visitors when they displayed a massive blob. Known as Viscerum polycephalum, the brainless blob is one of the most intriguing and confusing organisms on the planet. This creature has over 700 sexes and is a hodgepodge of contradictions. This slime mold has no brain, and yet, curiously, it can remember things and learn. It has no eyes or mouth, but it can find food and gobble it up. There are a lot of strange creatures in the world, and there's no doubt that the slime mold is among the strangest. Many choose to call this blob an alien creature. Aside from its ability to eat and its capacity to learn and remember, this super slime also has the ability to move despite not having any legs or wings. What's more, this slime can heal itself in just about 2 minutes after getting cut in half. This slime mold has been studied by scientists countless times, but it remains to be among the most mysterious creatures nature has created.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't looked into trying to do human trials with this stuff. Imagine your body being, you're pretty much Wolverine at that point. You know, something happened to your body, it repairs, it heals itself. You know, and in that, you probably lived to what, 300, 400, 500, 600, however many years old. This thing it gives you like unlimited power. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to start applying it to humans and testing it on humans eventually down the line. You know, they'll probably start with like a mouse or a chimp or a monkey or something like that. But I can already see where this is going.
Biologists have been trying to finally give a proper classification to this creature, but it was pretty hard to find where it fits in. It has the characteristics of an animal and a fungus, and it's tricky to determine where it belongs. In the wild, this supermold likes to stay in cool, humid areas where it can grow up to 100 centimeters in diameter. Slime molds are one of the most mysterious creatures in nature, and learning everything about them might take some time. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now. Number 14. Rare mirage. The ocean is full of strange creatures, and it's often shrouded in mystery. Its depths are unexplored, but a lot of strange things also happen on its surface. Since early times, sailors have always shared stories about the crazy things they've encountered while sailing in the middle of the ocean. One of the unexplained mysteries that they often told is Fata Morgana. This strange phenomena is a rare mirage that makes people see things that aren't true. Its name comes from Arthurian legend, after the sorceress Morgan Le Fay, who lured clueless sailors into her traps by conjuring images with her witchcraft. Likewise, Fata Morgana is a mirage where people see all sorts of things, from mountains in the middle of the ocean to floating ships and islands that aren't there. For years, scientists have been trying to discover the reason behind this mirage, but to this day, much of it is still shrouded in mystery. One of the legends that is often linked to this phenomena is the Flying Dutchman. the ghost ship allegedly sailing the ocean. The story goes that this ghost ship was cursed to sail the seas forever. Since the 17th century, this legend has been spread by sailors, and the story survives to this day, with modern sailors even claiming that they've seen the Dutchman while at sea. Experts believe that the ghost ships or strange beams of light modern sailors see in the ocean can be attributed to the mirage that is Fata Morgana. One of the reasons why this strange phenomena isn't well documented is the fact that the right conditions have to be set in order for it to happen. The atmospheric conditions must be perfect. Cold air must be close to the ground or to the surface of the water, and a thin layer of warm air should be suspended high in the atmosphere. When these conditions are met, ships sailing nearby might look as if they're floating, making sailors think that they're seeing something supernatural or paranormal. Aside from sailors seeing ships that don't really exist, Fata Morgana is also the phenomena that caused several explorers to discover land that doesn't really exist, including the mysterious Crocker Mountains and the Crocker landmass. Number 13. Prediction of Abraham Lincoln. On April 14, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated by the famous actor John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. No one expected the death of the president, but according to Lincoln's former law partner and friend Ward Hill Lemon, the president had precognition of his death. Several days before the assassination occurred, Lincoln allegedly shared with his wife Mary Todd and Lemon a strange dream. The president claimed that in his dream he walked into the East Room of the White House, and there he saw a funeral ceremony going on. Soldiers and a crowd of mourners surrounded a coffin, and when he inquired who died, one of the soldiers briefly answered, "The president. He was killed by an assassin." Mary Todd was quite perturbed by what her husband shared, but Lincoln said that when he peered into the coffin, the body inside wasn't his, but of another person, or at least that was what Lemon shared with the public. Although many doubt the authenticity of this precognition, it's certain that the president was interested in dreams and their meanings. Those who worked with Lincoln claimed that the president often gave value to his dreams. In one of his letters in 1863, he wrote to his wife and asked her to put away their son's pistol after having a bad dream about it. Lincoln's cabinet also recalled that the president told them about a dream wherein he was sailing in an unknown body of water at great speed on the morning of the assassination. To this day, many are skeptical about this supernatural claim, but many also believe that President Lincoln foresaw his own death. Number 2.
Listen, I would like to get a poll of all the presidents, past presidents that are still alive, still coherent enough to answer the question, and ask them throughout their presidency, how often did they have like those dreams or those thoughts? You got to think that comes with the territory, man. Always looking over your shoulder, always trying to make sure your security's on point, Secret Service is on point, and nobody can get to you because you know what comes with this job. And that is one of the things. So I would expect nightmares and different dreams of that type of stuff happening to happen. But I want to know, how often do they think and dream about it though? Seriously.
12. The bloop. In 1997, a team of researchers working for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration heard a strange sound from beneath the ocean surface. The Sound Surveillance System, also known as the SOSUS, detected the suspicious sound in the South Pacific. This strange sound was later on named the bloop. This ultra-low frequency, high-amplitude underwater sound remained a mystery for years to come. An entire decade passed, and scientists remained clueless as to what caused the sound. By 2012, the generally accepted theory was that the bloop was created by a massive animal living underwater. This led to a flurry of theories about a big-mouthed monster lurking in the so-called twilight zone of the ocean. Some researchers indicated that the creature would need to be several times larger than a blue whale for it to be able to produce an incredibly loud sound. The sound that was heard by listening stations over 3,000 miles away from its origin. Aside from the researchers of NOAA and the listening stations near the Pacific, no other humans heard the sound. The bloop's frequency made it impossible to be heard by human ears. It lasted for a while, until it suddenly stopped. Similar sounds were heard over the next few weeks, this time originating from the Indian Ocean. But one day, it suddenly stopped and was never heard by anyone again. The sound captured the attention of researchers all over the world, each one eager to learn more about the strange anomaly. Today, researchers conclude that the sound was generated by ice capping or a similar phenomena. However, several skeptics believe that the case of the bloop is still unsolved. Number 11. The strongest substance in the universe. Let's forget about the Earth for a moment and take a look at the strangest anomalies in the universe. Have you ever wondered what the strongest substance in the universe is? It's called nuclear pasta. As silly as it sounds, this substance is recognized as the hardest known substance in the universe. This object got its name because its structure resembles the pasta that we have on Earth. This object is found deep inside the crust of neutron stars, one of the most mystifying objects in the universe. In space, there are dead stars scattered everywhere, and within them are materials with a mass larger than our own sun, compressed into a small area the size of a city. Imagine an object the size of an apartment, but with the same weight as Mount Everest. These objects, funnily enough, resemble different types of pasta, and so they've been named after Italian food, from gnocchi to spaghetti to lasagna. However, there's a twist. This object is hypothetical. Although recent research proves their existence, we're still not certain whether they really are what we think they are. Number 10. 4,000-year-old rock perfectly cut in half. This massive stone, known as the Al Nasla rock formation in Saudi Arabia, is one of the strangest on Earth. This massive object has been baffling geologists and people all over the world since it was discovered. The entire rock is 30 feet long and 25 feet wide. On one of its halves is a painting of a man and a horse. But this illustration isn't the reason why people are intrigued about it. The stone was perfectly cut in half, almost as if it was cut by a powerful tool. That can't be possible though, as the stone was believed to be 4,000 years old. What's also strange is the fact that the two halves of this massive rock are balancing precariously, and yet no matter how many people tried to make the rock topple over, no one succeeded. Today, Al Nasla Rock is a popular tourist destination, and each person who gazes upon the rock for the first time always scratches their head at the strange position and partition of the rocks. Several scientists
one day, it's just one random windy day, it's just gonna topple over. And people gonna show up and just be like mind blown. They probably pushed on it for years and decades and centuries, and nothing ever happened. And just one random day, it's just gonna, gust of wind is gonna, and they just gonna tumble over or come together, collide together, or fall, whichever way they fall. Watch.
Scientists claimed that Al Nasla wasn't that much of a mystery and that the smooth cut was created by nature itself through weathering. But that doesn't stop the alien and supernatural theories. Number 9. Living rocks of Romania. Have you heard about living growing rocks? It doesn't make sense, but it is a real phenomena that happens in Kosteti, Romania, where rocks known as trovents grow over time. Trovents are one of the most mysterious natural formations on our planet. Their appearance is already intriguing. Covered with scale-like markings, these rocks look like a combination of a mushroom, a dinosaur egg, and a stone. These geological formations allegedly grow over time and even have the ability to move. These alleged living stones come in all shapes and sizes. They can be normal pebble-like objects or massive formations with strange shapes. These intriguing rocks can be found in less than 20 places in Romania. Many locals believe that these stones are magical and supernatural. Although people don't necessarily worship the stones, many respect these objects. Several locals believe that these stones are associated with fairies and other mystical beings, but scientists claim that there is a much more logical explanation. Trovents usually begin as small pebbles or rocks. As time passes by, sediment, fossils, and other debris will be bound together by limestone cement, giving the illusion that they're growing. In some cases, the rock will move toward the direction of the grain, which will make it seem like they're moving on its own. What's more amazing about the trovents is the fact that some of them can be up to 6 million years old. This means that some of the trovents in Romania are older than its current residents. Furthermore, there's a high chance that these objects contain precious fossils inside. Number 8. The mysterious hum. In the early 1990s, several cities all around the world reported hearing a mysterious and eerie hum. This sound is now known as the Taos hum. This strange low-frequency humming and rumbling noise was allegedly heard by people in some parts of the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada. Initially, people thought of the hum as a malicious sound that was made by mind control machines, or another heinous plot. Some people thought of it as a signal for nuclear war, while some believe the strange hum was created by alien technology. There are a lot of strange sounds detected on our planet, but many of them occur at frequencies that are either too high or too low for the human ear to detect. It just so happened that the so-called Taos hum had a frequency detectable by the human ear. Many people still speculate the origin of these mysterious hums. Some experts claim that the hums heard from the 1990s until now were created by natural and biological causes, including industrial plants. Number 7. Russian radio signal that has been broadcasting since 1976. UVB-76, also known as the buzzer, is a shortwave radio station that mysteriously broadcasts a short, monotonous buzz tone. The sound repeats at a constant rate of about 25 tones per minute, 24 hours a day. On some days, the tone is interrupted by a voice speaking in Russian, but other than that, much about this radio signal is unknown.
Nah, see, at first I was thinking something else, but now hearing what they saying, that sound like some spy stuff right there to me. That sound like we intercepted on some type of, they spying on something, bro. And it got, what else could it be? Communications with extraterrestrials and they're speaking in Russian? No, that's gotta be some type of spy stuff.
It allegedly started broadcasting in 1976, and it hasn't stopped since. Initially, this radio station was thought of as a secret radio signal that sends secret messages just like the ones during the Cold War. In most cases, radio signals just like UVB-76 creep out the people who accidentally stumble upon it while exploring stations late at night. Although there's nothing sinister about the buzz and tones these radio stations produce, they give off an eerie feeling that makes most people feel unnerved. The coded signals and the indecipherable tones made UVB-76 a mystery to a lot of people, and a case to solve for internet sleuths. Recently, however, this radio signal began sending not only strange messages, but also memes, and even some famous songs. A popular explanation for this radio station is that it's being used as a dead hand signal. This means that it will continuously broadcast the same eerie monotonous tone, which signifies that everything is all right. But once it stops, it means that something happened. There are also theories that once this radio signal stops, it might automatically trigger a nuclear weapon or a Russian missile system. Fortunately, these claims are unverified and are purely speculation. Number 6. The Kaz II ghost yacht. On April 20th, 2007, a white catamaran was found drifting aimlessly in the northeastern coast of Australia. When authorities inspected the 9.8-meter catamaran, none of its original crew were found aboard. The ghost yacht initially had 3 men on board, all of whom were residents of Perth. The catamaran was in good condition, but according to the authorities, the 3 men were all inexperienced sailors. The 3-man crew left Airlie Beach on April 15th and headed for Townsville, Queensland. 3 days later, a helicopter crew claimed that he saw the catamaran drifting near the vicinity of the Great Barrier Reef and that the crew seemed to be in distress. 2 days after the sighting, authorities finally caught up with the boat and boarded it. Unfortunately, they found no one on the catamaran. There were no leads that could tell the reason behind the disappearance of the crew, and authorities claimed that the entire situation was extremely strange. There was food on the table, a laptop computer was set up and was even turned on, and even the catamaran's radio and GPS were fully functional. What's more, several life jackets were found on the small boat. Several investigations and hearings were held after the incident, but to this day, the disappearance and deaths of the 3-man crew were still unclear. Number 5. Strange desert lights. People who found themselves outside the West Texas town of Marfa rarely witness the strange phenomenon known as the Marfa lights. These lights are allegedly the size of basketballs and come in different colors such as white, blue, yellow, and red. These lights move in different ways. Some of them can be seen hovering in the distance. Some twinkle and blink, while some dart quickly from one direction to another. Their erratic behavior remains unexplained. For years, no one has successfully determined what exactly the Marfa lights are. Although there is an event dedicated to these lights, they're incredibly unpredictable, and it's impossible to know when or where exactly they'll appear next. For this reason, scientists, researchers, and meteorologists across the globe are all determined to unravel the mystery behind these strange lights. Curiously enough, eyewitnesses claim that the lights didn't seem malicious or terrifying. Instead, the lights seemed to be friendly and playful. Although the Marfa-lights are considered to be a strange phenomena, the locals in Texas believe that whatever the origin of these lights may be, it isn't harmful. Number 4. Fly geyser. In 1916, a farmer was seeking irrigation water for his crops. It was then that a well was drilled into the ground. After digging 10 to 12 feet into the ground, water burst through the cracks. Unfortunately, the water was incredibly hot, with a temperature close to boiling. The well was abandoned not long after. Decades later, a geothermal energy company decided to drill a second well near the first. This time,
fool might be the first person to create his own volcano, man. Like, what other reason is water gonna shoot out that hot? Huh? Some magma up under there. Nah, bro. Yeah. He might have created his first volcano, first person. This dude is a treasure. Not for any good reason, though.
I'm seeking water with the same temperature as the first well. But, as if they were being played, the second well produced water not hot enough to be utilized for geothermal energy. Instead of just abandoning the second well, the company decided to seal it. But years later, the failed operation resulted in something magnificent. This is the origin story of the amazing fly geyser on the Fly Ranch in Wallapai Flat, less than a mile from State Route 34 in Nevada. This geyser doesn't look like the result of man-made drilling, and over the years, it's become an ecosystem on its own. This geyser contains a high amount of silica, and its waters often spout up to 5 feet high. Around it is a wonderful array of extremophiles like algae, which endures the moist and hot environment around the geyser. This is one of the few times where a man-made error produced something brilliant. Number 3. The mysterious fairy circles. The aerial view of the Namib desert is quite interesting. One area of the desert is covered with circular barren patches known as fairy circles. Located 50 to 87 miles inland from Namibia's coast are polka dot pattern patches of land devoid of grass. These barren patches vary between 7 and 49 feet in diameter. For many years, no one really knew why or how they happened. However, people living near the desert believe that these circular patches are created by fairies. Some even claimed that they had seen strange creatures appearing and disappearing into the barren patches. The fairy circles have been an enduring mystery for many until recently, when several researchers claimed that they have a pretty good idea as to what causes these patches. Some experts propose that the barren interiors of the circles were caused by residual plant toxins, while some claim that sand termites might be the ones creating the rings. Some believe that the barren circles were created by the grass themselves so that they could share resources and water. Although these claims are all logical, there's still no conclusion about the formation of the Namibian fairy circles, and it's still highly debated to this day. Number 2. Spontaneous human combustion. One day in December 2010, a 76-year-old man named Michael Faherty was sitting peacefully in his house in a pleasant neighborhood in Galway, Ireland. Shortly after, the old man's scorched body was found inside his home. Later on, his cause of death would soon be concluded by the local coroner as spontaneous human combustion. This is one of the few cases of this strange phenomena. It's quite hard to believe that there's a chance for the human body to randomly burst into flames with...
Right, like how? It just... Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Like, that's totally random, bro. No.
Spontaneous human combustion. This is one of the few cases of this strange phenomena. It's quite hard to believe that there's a chance for the human body to randomly burst into flames with no apparent cause or reason. Throughout history, there have been several reported cases where people, both men and women, spontaneously burst into flames. So far, there are more than 200 reported claims of spontaneous human combustion. But to this day, this phenomena remains to be an enduring puzzle. One of the earliest cases reported occurred in 1985 when a Vietnam veteran named Frank Baker spontaneously caught fire while sitting on his couch. But unlike Michael Faherty, Frank lived to tell about his experience. He testified that he wasn't near any source of fire at the time, and he just felt scorching heat coursing through his body. Scientists disprove the idea of spontaneous human combustion solely because it's simply illogical. Experts claim that for anything to catch fire, it should have a very high temperature as well as
fuel heat, oxygen. Spontaneous, like you need the fire tetrahedron in order for it to happen. Where is that coming from? No, man. We learned about this. I got an associate's degree in fire science. Like, come on, bro. Make it make sense.
As an oxidizing agent or fuel. Some people propose that perhaps this phenomena occurs when the fat in the human body is enough to produce fuel and spontaneously combusts. To this day, this mystery remains unsolved and is widely debated. Number 1. Sailing stone. In the dry environment of Racetrack Playa in Death Valley National Park in California are mysterious stones that move on their own. These rocks are driven by an unseen force amidst the dry lake bed. Under the scorching sun in the arid environment, these rocks move in different directions, often leaving their trails on the ground. These rocks are known as sailing stones or sliding stones. This strange phenomena has been observed since the early 1900s. Initially, experts claimed that these stones were driven by wind, but it wasn't long until this theory was disproved. After all, the environment at the national park might be windy, but it wasn't enough to move even the smallest rocks in the area. For years, no one could determine the real reason behind the sailing stones. Aliens, ghosts, strange magnetic fields? Everyone had their own crazy theory about the phenomena. Some even went as far as saying that someone was purposefully going to the park late at night to move the rocks and let people discover it a few hours later. However, several people have already seen the phenomena happen with their own eyes. It wasn't until 2014 that a team of researchers got close to finding an answer. Researchers discovered that sailing stones only occur in certain conditions. For the rocks to move, a thin layer of water must be present on the lake bed. This layer will soon turn into a thin sheet of ice overnight. By daybreak, the stones will be driven by a light wind over the ice, causing the tiny rocks to look as if they're moving on their own. Today, this phenomenon is pretty much solved, but it was still one of the strangest mysteries of the past decade. Although much of these phenomena remain a mystery, there might come a time when we learn some of their secrets.